Mr Chair, for Indigenous peoples, health means not just physical well-being or merely the absence of illness. Health encompasses the social, emotional and cultural well-being of the whole community in which an individual is able to achieve their full potential as a human being. In its analysis of recommendations made, the Permanent Forum notes that issues concerning Indigenous men's health have not been included in any of the Permanent Forum's recommendations to date. Given the Permanent Forum has had focus sessions on the health and well-being of women and children, we now call on the Permanent Forum to conduct a study on the physical, social and emotional and well-being of Indigenous men. In addition to primary and preventative health care, healing initiatives that are personally focused and aimed at reconnecting people to their family, community, language, culture and land in order to restore strong cultural identities are critical. Healing initiatives that respond to the often ignored yet ongoing grief and trauma commonly experienced by colonised peoples are also critical. In addition to health outcomes, the second area of review, education, is equally critical to changing this situation. Indigenous peoples value successful lifelong education. We aspire to return to proficiency in our own cultural ways of being, knowing and doing. We also aspire to be equally educated in the formal or Western system in order to successfully participate in the societies in which we choose or have been forced to live. As with health, the most productive way to achieve successful educational participation and attainment is to take a positive approach which examines and builds on successful programs and outcomes, acknowledging the cultural determinants which influence the ability for Indigenous peoples to access education. Indigenous peoples' entitlement to equitable education must be without conditions, encumbrances or suspension of other rights guaranteed by the Universal Declaration of Human Rights and the Declaration of the Rights of Indigenous Peoples. In this regard, the National Congress of Australia's First Peoples supports the expert mechanisms on the right of Indigenous peoples, advice number 1 on the right to education. In the interests of time, I would draw to conclusion this statement and thank you for your time.